Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Probably looking real old, dude. My hair's all scruffy, my beard's all scruffy, and I got my night glasses on. Out here in the shop tonight, it's kind of a late night out here. Been kind of tinkering around. I did start to switch the intake manifold out on the Boost Knuckle 4.8. This 4.8 is going to come out, it's going to go in that car. But since we got the motor put in the Mustang, I went ahead. The motor in the Mustang's got rectangle port cylinder heads on it, which it was originally in this with the black intake and stuff on it. Well, then when I went to the 4.8 in this, I had to buy the adapter plates to go from cathedral port to rectangle port so I could use that intake. Well, this was the old intake I had on the Ranger that I kept whenever I got rid of it. And I kept it because I wanted to put it on a cathedral port engine in this truck because I knew the 5.3 and or the 4.8 was going in this at some point. But anyways, since we have the Mustang, I'm kind of stepping back. The power goals with the truck, this old rickety thing doesn't need to make 1,000 horsepower. I mean, yes, everything needs to make 1,000 horsepower, but with what I'm doing with this truck, it doesn't need to make 1,000 horsepower. The 4.8 did really good. It made like 600 horse on like 14 pounds, which was good. It was pretty conservative tune-up. But I decided I wanted to swap the rectangle port intake off and put the cathedral port Edelbrock on it. And these, for the cathedral port motors, the rails are -6 ORBs on the cathedral port intakes, and then the rails on the rectangle port intakes are -8. Well, I didn't have the fittings on this because all my lines are -8. Everything on this was -6 from the Ranger. So I went ahead and ordered new ORBs, so they're -6 to -8 ORBs, so I can use all the same fuel lines and all that stuff. In the midst of that, the more I thought about it, I'm like, I'm going to have to wait a few days. I'm kind of waiting on stuff for the Dart, waiting on stuff for the Mustang. This thing, we're still kind of fiddling around with it, me and my buddy DJ on the weekends. So I was kind of thinking, since I'm waiting on fittings and stuff, and the motor, the 5.3 for this truck is actually done. The only thing that's not done on it, just like with the Mustang motor, is there's no front cover on it, mainly because the front cover that I'm going to use on that 5.3 that's going in this is on the 4.8, so I need to get this out to get the cover off and put it on that motor. And the weather's getting ready to turn crappy and stuff again, so I won't be moving this out of the garage anyways. As you can see, there's water all over the floor because I drained the radiator, because we are going to pull the motor out of this thing. Right now, we're just going to say the heck with it. We're just going to pull it. So that's what I'm getting ready to start doing. I'm going to start pulling everything off the top side of this motor and radiator and all that stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and yank it all out, and we're going to start putting this aluminum 5.3 in and just get it knocked out before the springtime weather turns. And then all I'm going to want to do is drive this thing, not want to work on it. So I figure while I got a little bit of time and the weather's going to be crap, let's just go ahead and get after it. Anyways, let's start pulling some stuff off this motor, and we'll get ready to yank this thing out. All right, guys, so I got the radiator and stuff out, water pump, intake, everything's off the engine. Pretty much what we'll have to do from here, I'll pull some of the electrical stuff off of it, pull the wiring harness out of the way, get the turbo off, the exhaust off. I can't remember if when I pulled it out the last time, maybe I'll have to go back and look at one of my videos. I can't remember if I pulled it out with the turbo on it, if it was easier that way. Because I feel like it was a real pain in the butt trying to pull the turbo manifold. Because I don't like taking the turbo off the manifold if I don't have to. So I need to go back and look and see how I did that the last time. But I'll get up in the air, start doing everything from underneath, and you know, really it's pretty easy after that. Pull the starter, converter bolts, and then crossover pipe for the turbo side, or turbo. Pull the crossover pipe off the driver's manifold to the turbo manifold. Pull that off because that all wraps underneath the transmission. And then a couple motor mount bolts and bell housing bolts, and that thing will be ready to come out. So we'll definitely have to get it up in the air for that, and try and get the transmission stationary. That way it doesn't want to fall or none of that stuff. Probably just going to jack it up from the front, get it up in the air. I'm not going to pull it all the way up in the air. I'll probably just jack the front, and then we'll just yank this thing right out. So I'll get the other motor in here and my empty stand, get it in here, and then that way as soon as this one comes out, I can just bolt it right on a stand, push it off to the side, pull the other one off the stand, and then just start dropping it in. But yeah, that's going to do it for today, and then we'll come back. The next thing we'll do is try and get this motor out. Alright guys, so as you can tell, we've got quite a bit more of the motor taken apart. Just slowly sitting here chipping away at all this stuff and try and get this thing out sooner than later. Just trying to get everything loose from the top side that I can, and then once I get everything off and cleared out of here, then I'll jack it up, crawl up underneath of it, get the starter off of it, and do the bell housing bolts and torque converter bolts and stuff. One thing I didn't notice though, let me show you this. I took the driver's side manifold off, and I was pretty sure that there was an issue with this manifold because I thought I heard a leak. And you can tell this titanium heat wrap is kind of miscolored here. That one thing, okay, let me, a little backstory. The last couple times we had this thing out, which is actually whenever I had this on the dyno, I was trying to sort out a fueling issue that I had where if I was cruising it, everything was good, but if I like put it to the floor and or if I was on the trans brake and then let go of the button, you could see it in the data log where the AFRs would just shoot through the roof and then they would level back off and get down into the zone of a good air fuel. And I thought it was fuel filters and a pump and all this stuff. Well, come to find out, it was this manifold had a leak, which there towards the end, I was pretty sure I knew it had a leak. And you can see the crack there. You can see some light kind of shining through there. I mean, there's cracks all over that manifold. So that was definitely our culprit. So we're gonna have to replace that. I'm not gonna try and fix it. It's like a, I don't know, cheapy Patriot header. I do have one. Oh, my lights are freaking out. Stand by. I do have one header I got from my buddy Garrett. This was one he was gonna use on the Nova at one point, and I think decided against it. And little cheap eBay one. The angle where the collector comes out is a little different. This one actually puts the collector a little closer to the fuel line, so I'm gonna have to do some stuff there. And then he had started to make an extension on this. I'm gonna cut all this back off and then shorten it up, put the V-band up here. But yeah, this should be a good one for us to use. I stuck it on the head, everything, it looked flat, so that's good. One other thing that I did notice on the truck here, I'll show you. So when I got these heads off a blown up motor. Also from my buddy Dave, the one that gave me the heads that are on the new 5.3. He had these heads on his son's engine, came out of an S10. They boosted the crap out of this thing, broke a bunch of pistons and stuff. But his boy Keaton's really really good at using like power tools, trying to put spark plugs in and stuff. And it's got like, I think these two here were stripped out, spark plug holes, or that they were like buried really deep. I don't know if you'll be able to tell. No, it's hard to tell. But this one is super deep. But one thing I noticed when I took this off, I noticed there was a bunch of, like you can see a bunch of this like heat wrap stuff just like everywhere, and it's sticky. And then you look back here on the corner of this block, right there you can see like some residual stuff. Oh wait, look here. Look at all, that spark plug is leaking its butt off. And you can see the like stain on the cast right there where it's like raw fuel coming out around the spark plug. That's a huge, huge no-no. But yeah, I mean, it just made a mess everywhere where that spark plug was leaking. So it's no wonder I had AFR issues and stuff. I mean, I'm surprised this thing ran as good as it did. I mean, even with this big old crack, this thing would still make like 14 pounds on the brake and just didn't even flinch. But yeah, we've almost got it out. Got a couple of little more things to do, and then we'll get this thing pulled out, and then we'll start prepping the aluminum 5.3 to go back in the truck. But anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. It's kind of boring, kind of tedious stuff that, I mean, there's plenty of videos online of people pulling motors out of stuff. But anyways, we found some problems, got some issues we got to fix, and then we'll start putting this new motor in. So don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, keep following along, and I greatly appreciate y'all. We're getting up there in subscribers. I think we're almost like 1,300 subscribers. So next step from here is like 5,000. That's my next big goal. But anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.